The day the stars went dark, it started as a small fear and became a big one. At night, people looked up and said the stars looked wrong. Some lines in the sky were dull. Some bright points were missing. Telescopes checked, then checked again. The missing lights were not clouds. They were blocked dot at the Space Weather Center in Karachi. Alarms turned yellow, then red. Across Earth, observatories sent the same message. There was a ring in orbit that did not show on normal maps. It ate starlight. It jammed jump beacons. It was not a natural thing. It was a wall. News feeds named it fast. The Skylock. Flights to the outer colonies stopped. Cargo stayed on the ground. Ships that were halfway through jump chains got stranded at cold waypoints. Hospitals waited for medicine that did not arrive. Ports filled with people who held tickets to places they could no longer reach. Panic moved faster than any ship. Commander Arya Chun watched the feeds from an underground control hall below a quiet hill. The room was simple. Concrete, steel, long tables, many screens. She stood straight, calm, and spoke in a clear voice. Status. She said, "Global grid stable," said Echo, the Ops AI. Its voice was steady and a little dry, like a good teacher. Communications messy, but alive. Astronomy confirms an artificial ring at high orbit. Composition. Mixed hulls from 7 species, mostly hardliner states. Function. Lock light and jam navigation nets. Style, rude. Arya did not smile. Any. Open lanes? None, Echo said. They tuned the jammers to our routes. If we push, we may break our own instruments. The side door opened. Malik Rao came in fast, carrying a dented metal case and a tablet covered in grease marks. He was tall, tired, and bright-eyed, the look of an engineer who had not slept but had not given up. "Commander," he said. "It's time," Arya nodded. Project ZEUS. Malik set the case on the table and flipped it open. Inside were small coils, a ring of wire, and 3 simple rods. It looked like a child's kit. It was not. "ZEUS is not a gun," Malik said. "It is a thunder lattice. Ground to orbit. We read an ion storm, shape it with towers, then sing a gravity pulse through it. The pulse opens a safe lane through jammers. We do not burn cities. We do not blast ships. We bend the storm and right our path." Echo added, "First use risk. Non-zero. If the tune is wrong, the pulse could jump to the grid and fry lines. If the tune is sharp, it could kick debris into low orbit. Also, someone may try to make us look like monsters." Arya folded her hands. "What do you need?" "Time to tune," Malik said. "Old tools. No full net. Analog overrides. And a clean map of the jammer frequencies at the ring. With that, we thread the needle. Without it, we guess." The room shook a little as the air handling system changed speed. It was not danger, just the building breathing, but the sound made the young staff stiffen. Above them, the world was changing. Everyone felt it. Echo chimed. Incoming coded burst on the old diplomatic band. Source. Shuttle signature from the Coalition Free Mediation Service. Authenticity. 72% and rising. Arya looked. At the main screen, a small icon blinked near the ring. "Play it." A voice came through the static. It was clear, calm, and a little tired. "This is Envoy Syrah. We do not support the blockade. We carry a full frequency map of the ring. Do not fire. We are en route." Malik exhaled. "That's the key. With that, ZEUS can open a path without harm." Arya's eyes stayed on the me. Screen. Distance. ECHO drew a thin line from the ring to Earth. The shuttle is inside the outer traffic shell. Interception is likely. Hardliners are not blind. Arya thought fast and spoke faster. We prepare ZEUS on analog only. We keep the grid isolated. We do not fire until we have the map. We do not make a mistake the first hour. She turned to the room. Tell the world, we are working. Stay off high power, it is not needed. Hospitals first. Food cold chain next. Talk to each other or sit with a neighbor. Do not spread fear. Staff moved. Phones lit. Radios clicked. People in dark rooms and bright offices felt a little less alone. Echo's voice cut in again. Commander, there is another issue. I see code signatures near the main power hub that do not match our build. Someone may want ZEUS to misfire. Malik swore softly. Saboteurs. Arya kept her face steady. Log it. Quiet security only. Do not shout it to the room. She pointed to the big wall map. Where are the ZEUS towers now? Ready, Malik said. Desert arrays charged. Mountain coils in Pakistan and Peru warmed and sensed. Ocean buoys listening. We can move fast when the map arrives. He lifted one of the rods from the case. This is our rhythm key, he said. We do not fight noise with more noise. We find the simple beat under it. Then we push there. Arya nodded. Good. Prepare teams at the coastal launch pads. If we open a lane, we must be ready to move food and medicine at once. The ceiling speakers clicked again. Commander, Echo said, I have the Envoy shuttle on deep optics. There is. Hunter drone behind it. Hardliner make. The drone is spooling a spike. Warn them, Arya said. I am trying, Echo said. Jammers are thick. My words are falling apart before they reach them. The main screen changed. The ring of satellites was a dark band across a rich field of stars. A small spark envoy. Sierra's shuttle slid along the band like a lone boat near a reef. Behind it, a second spark brightened. Then there was a flash. The room went silent. Hit, ECHO said. The voice stayed calm, but everyone heard the tightness under it. Hull breach on the shuttle. Propulsion lost. I see one capsule ejecting. Capsule is hot, but alive. Malik set his hands flat on the table. How many? One life sign, Echo said. Falling. Trajectory. North Indian Ocean. Weather. Bad. A storm front is building. Arya did not wait. Launch search and rescue, she said. Small boats. Old radios. Flares. Do not trust the net. Use line of sight. Send one tug with a heat camera if we can piggyback on civilian airspace. Copy, said a coastal controller on the line. Boats moving. Arya turned back to Malik. How fast can we tune without the full map? We can start the base tune, he said. We can hum the storm. We cannot thread the jammers. Without Sierra's file. Start the base tune, Arya said. Keep it soft. We do not hurt anyone by accident. Malik ran. Technicians ran. Switches flipped from auto to hand. Screens turned from color to simple lines. On the surface, towers rose like dark trees against a darker sky. In the desert, thin blue sparks crawled up their sides and vanished into the clouds. Echo counted. Time in a low voice. Capsule time to splash. 19 minutes. Boat's time to intercept. 26 minutes if seas hold. Storm growth. Fast. Arya closed her eyes for one breath. She saw the faces on the panic feeds. She saw the ring in the sky. She saw a small pod falling through black wind. When she opened her eyes, she was steady again. Send this to all bands, she said. Plain language. Echo waited. Earth will not bow, Arya said. We will not burn. We will open the sky with care. Hold fast. The message went out as sound and as text. Some nets dropped it. Some twisted it. Still, it reached people. It reached a child in a dark city room who shared a candle with her. Grandmother. It reached a pilot who sat in a stalled freighter and cried because he could not go home. It reached a ring crew worker who was not a hardliner and had not known how to say no. The main screen showed the ocean. Black water. White teeth of waves. A red dot fell toward it with a thin tail of fire. Echo whispered, "Capsule at 5 kilometers. 4, 3. Arya leaned over the table. Her hands were fists. "Hold on," she said to a person she had never met. "Hold on." The pod hit the sea and vanished in spray. "Signal alive," Echo said. "Weak. Moving." Arya pointed. "Boats there." On the map, small green icons pushed into the storm. Wind drew claw marks across their paths. Thunder rolled like a low drum dot in the control hall. No one spoke. The skylock hung above them, dark and heavy. The towers hummed a thin beginning tune. The boats climbed the rising waves. "Commander," Echo said, very soft now, "we have one chance to catch that capsule before the storm eats it. If we fail, we lose the map. If we lose the map—" Arya did not let the thought finish. She lifted her chin. "We won't," she said. Outside, lightning walked across the clouds. The sea rose higher. And somewhere in that black water, an envoy held on to a strap and tried to breathe. A signal underwater. The ocean hit like a black wall. Waves stood up in the dark and fell with the weight of stone. The search boats were small green lines on ECHO's screen, bending and straightening as they climbed each wave. "Flare," Arya said. A red flower burst low over the sea, then another. Wind tore the smoke sideways. Rain came in hard beads that rattled on the boat roofs like gravel. "Capsule beacon is weak but alive," Echo said. Bearing locked. Distance, 900 meters from Boat 2. Caution, swells at 4 meters. On the deck of Boat 2, 2 crew clipped in and leaned over. The bow with poles and hooks. The pilot eased the throttle. The hull slammed once, twice, then slid down a wet hill into a valley of black water. Lightning showed a bright shape for a blink, a rounded pod rolling like a toy. "There!" the bow crew shouted. Their voices were thin in the wind. Arya stood over the surface map, hands tight on the table's edge. She did not look away. "Hold her steady," she said into the boat channel. "No sharp grabs. Let the wave bring it." Boat 2 rose, slid, and kissed the pod with its side bumper. The bow crew dropped the hooks, missed, dropped again, and caught. The line went tight. A wave tried to tear the hook loose. The pilot matched the pod's roll with a small, patient touch. "Got it," the bow crew yelled. "We've got it." "Open the cradle," Arya said. A net slid out. The pod rolled in and thumped once. The crew pulled it close and locked it down. The pilot turned the boat nose into the next wave and rode it like a strong animal. "Capsule secure," Echo confirmed. "Life sign inside. Weak but present." "Bring her home," Arya said. Lightning walked across the clouds again. Thunder came late but heavy, the sound of a door closing. On land, rescue medics ran to the dock. In the hall, Malik paced a tight line and checked the tower readings on a small analog scope he had wired by hand. The storm lines were good. The tune was almost there, but not enough. Not without the map. Boat 2 came in fast, riding the back of a wave. Dock hands reached and grabbed and slid the pod onto a wheeled cradle. The hatch release was sticky. A medic hammered it with the heel of a hand, and then with a small tool. The hatch popped with a tired sigh. A young alien woman lay. Inside, face gray-green, skin slick with salt. She wore a simple envoy jacket with a torn sleeve. Her eyes were open and clear. "I am Envoy Sira," she said. Her voice was soft but steady. "Please tell me Earth did not fire." "We did not," Arya said. She had come up from the hall and stood under a wet tarp by the dock. Rain ticked on the canvas. We need the ring's frequency map. Sierra tried to sit up. Pain folded her for a second. A medic steadied her. She put one hand on a small box strapped to her chest with old tape. "In here," she said. "Also in here." She tapped her temple. "Half is a storage stick. Half is a memory pattern. We split it so a single theft would not be enough. Can you recall your half?" Arya asked. "Yes," Sierra said, swallowing. "But I need a calm room and a simple antenna. A pattern must fall into the right rhythm. If I force it, I will lose the edges." Arya nodded once. "Bring her to Med 2, she told the team. "No net devices. Paper only. ECHO, prepare." "A quiet room. Already clearing one," Echo said. "I will watch the hall only with old lenses." Sierra's fingers tightened on the box. "One thing more," she said. "Many worlds hate the blockade. The ring crews are not all hardliners. If you show care, they will listen. If you burn them, they will obey their worst leaders." Arya met her eyes. "We will not burn," she said. "Come." They moved fast, but not rough. The medics cleaned Sierra's cuts and wrapped her arm. Someone gave her a wool blanket and dry socks. A tech placed a small copper loop on a stand beside the bed and tuned it by hand until it hummed a low, easy note. "This will help the memory fall into place," the tech said. "No shocks, no drugs." Sierra closed her eyes. She breathed slow. "Start a metronome," she said. 40 beats, then 60. Then hold at 55. The tech tapped a wooden block with a pencil. Tick, tick, tick. The copper loop answered with a quiet, warm sound. Sierra spoke in a whisper as the beats set in. "Red group, 91 kilohertz, on-off in triplets. Blue group, 114. Pinned to red. Green rides between like steps. There is a dead lane between blue and green for 30 seconds every 10 minutes when the ring aligns with..." She stopped, breathed, and continued. Numbers came like stones laid in a line dot in the control hall. A clerk wrote each number with a dark pencil on thick paper while Malik watched with hungry eyes. He checked each with a ruler and a wheel chart like a sailor. "Echo," Malik said. "We can thread it." "It's tight, but we can thread it." "Noted," Echo replied. "Also noted, something moves near the main power hub." Arya looked up. "Fast." "What?" "Cameras at the hub show a flicker," Echo said, as if a hand covered the lens and moved away. "The feed is a wire feed, not net. The wire itself is clean. The lens is not." "Who has access?" Arya asked. 4 engineers, 2 guards, 1 cleaner," Echo said. "All logged. 1 engineer's badge shows inside, but that engineer also shows on a coffee camera 2 blocks away at the same time." "Cloned," Malik said. His voice went flat. "Someone copied the badge." Arya made the decision before the air settled. "Split the teams," she said. "Half stay with Sierra and the map. Half go to the hub. Quiet entry. No big guns. I want the grid safe." She turned back to Sierra. "How much more?" 2 blocks left, Sierra said. Her eyes stayed closed. The copper loop sang its low note. "Purple group chases green, but stumbles every 9th beat. That is our door. That is your lane." Malik's pen scraped the paper. "That's the thread," he whispered. "That's the thread." "Commander," Echo said in a softer tone, "I have a short call from a ringwork crew on a private band. They say, if you can open a path without killing, we will stand down our side segment. Patch them to Sierra when she wakes," Arya said. "Tell them we intend to prove without harm." ECHO paused for a microsecond that felt like a nod. Sierra opened her eyes. "I can give you the last block," she said. "But you must promise one thing." "Say it," Arya said. "If anyone fires on evacuating ships, Sierra said. Do not answer with death. Answer with something the whole sky can see and remember. Answer with proof. We will, Arya said. Sira finished the sequence. The Tech wrote the last numbers in a firm hand. Malik lifted the pages like a sacred thing and spread them beside his analog scope. He tuned a coil on his bench by turning a real screw. The tone in the room changed, soft and good. ZEUS can run on analog, Malik said. We can stay off the net and still sing the lane open. Do it, Arya said. Prepare a soft strike. Mark a path, no burns. She turned to leave and froze. Every wall screen in the hall flipped to a new image. ECHO did not have to explain. The picture said everything. It was the feed from a power hub camera. The lens had cleared. The angle was low, close to the floor, as if the camera were a small animal hiding under a shelf. The image showed black boots, then knees, then a gloved hand setting a compact charge against a main trunk line. The hand pressed a timer. The numbers started to count down. A second figure stepped into view with a coil of line. Their faces were behind matte masks. Their badges were bright and wrong. One looked up toward the lens, as if listening. Commander, Echo said, voice level and thin. We have masked saboteurs at the heart of our grid. On the screen, the timer ticked. 0:59, 0:58, 0:57. Saboteurs at the heart, the timer. On the hub screen kept falling. 0:57, 0:56, 0:55. Move, Arya said. A small team sprinted for the power hub. 2 guards. 1 tech, Malik in front with a tool bag. No heavy guns. Only foam launchers that glued legs, stun cords that wrapped arms, and flashless smoke to hide their approach. Eco dimmed hallway lights and opened doors ahead of them. I will loop cameras for 30 seconds per corridor, the AI said. Do not stop in the open. They ran down concrete stairs that smelled like rain. At the bottom, a steel door waited. Red, locked. Echo, Malik said. Give me the hinge pins. The red light went green. The door popped. They slid inside. Another timer appeared on a wall panel. 0:42. In the main trunk room, the air was hot and dry. Big cables ran like black rivers along the walls. 2 masked figures knelt by a thick line, hands quick and sure. A third stood watch near a breaker box. Now, Arya said. The guard on Malik's right fired a foam burst. White gel hit the floor in front of the watcher's boots. They jumped back and stumbled. Malik threw a stun cord. It snapped around one mask and yanked the person down. The second guard sent a short burst that glued the other's feet to the yaw. Deck. The watcher at the breaker moved for a small switch. Don't, Malik said, and tossed a flashless smoke bead at the feet. It puffed a cold, dark cloud that smelled like mint. The watcher coughed, swung blind, and hit nothing. Arya slipped in low, caught the wrist, twisted once, and took the switch away. Easy, she said. Nobody dies today. The timers kept falling. 0:31, 0:30. Charges, Malik said, dropping to his knees. He found the first block on the trunk line. Plain, clean, mean. He popped the panel, pulled the thin lead, and cut it with a tool. The timer on that block froze at 0:27. 2 more, Echo said in his ear. North wall low, south wall behind conduit. Arya and a guard hauled the glued saboteur upright. The foam was already hardening like chalk. The person fought, then gave up. The other, wrapped by the stun cord, hissed through the mask. Who sent you? Arya asked. No answer. Blank eyes behind dark glass. Leave them, Malik said. We have seconds. He slid to the north wall, tore off a panel, cut the second lead. 0:19 on the main screen. He dove for the south wall, reached behind the conduit with his arm to the shoulder, swore at the pinch, found the block, yanked the cover, and cut out the last timer, stopped at 011. He sat back and breathed once. Clear, not clear, Echo said calmly. I am reading a second problem. Someone loaded a backdoor virus into a grid monitor 2 days ago. It slept until the saboteur badges opened the trunk room. Now it is awake. Payload? Aria asked. If ZEUS fires on normal control, Echo said, the virus will mirror the pulse into city lines. It will look like we hit our own people. Malik wiped sweat with his sleeve. Can it jump to analog? It will try through a monitor port, Echo said. Low chance, but not zero. Show me the monitor, Malik said. A side rack blinked. A small, steady light. It looked harmless, like a toy. He pulled the drawer. Inside was a thin board with a bright sticker. Service do not remove. He laughed once, without humor. Nice. He reached for the board. Careful, Echo said. It has a dead man switch. If you rip it, it will dump garbage into the bus. The right way is a slow bleed and a cold swap. How long? Aria asked. 5 minutes, Echo said. Malik looked at the numbers Sira had given them, taped to his sleeve. He looked at the small clock in his visor. Commander, he said, Sira's safe window through the jammer ring opens in 2 minutes. It stays open for 30 seconds. If we miss it, the next window is in 10 minutes, and the enemy will be ready. Aria's jaw tightened. We cannot fire with the virus alive. We cannot, Malik agreed. Echo cut in, voice low. I can trap 2 intruders who are trying to run. There is a maintenance lift at the end of the hall. If I cycle doors in a loop, they will enter the lift and I can freeze it between floors. Do it, Aria said. Camera feeds flicked on Aria's wrist display. A door opened and shut in a rhythm that looked like a mistake. The 2 masked saboteurs, half free of foam, limped into the lift. The doors closed. The lift moved a meter and stopped. Its lights went out. 2 contained, Echo said. 3rd is under guard. Good, Aria said. What about Sira? In Med 2, Echo said. She is stable. She is asking for a line to ring crews. She says she can talk them down if we show care. Aria walked to Malik's shoulder. He had the monitor board half free, half tied. His hands moved with small, careful motions. Turn, hold, wait, breathe, turn again. He spoke without looking up. I can do the clean pull, he said, but it is 5 minutes. Not 4, not 3. 5, Aria checked the time. 1:46 to window. Her? Areda, clicked. A breathy, tired voice came through Sira. Commander, the purple group will stumble at 1:30. If you are ready, you can mark the lane with a soft touch, not a full strike. It will not free everyone, but it will prove the map is real. The ring crews will hesitate. That soft touch still risks the virus. Echo said. Malik shook his head. Not if we run ZEUS on a completely dead bus for the soft touch. We can island the towers for a second. No link to city lines. But the virus might learn. It will watch us and change for the next try. Aria looked from the board to the clock to the taped numbers on Malik's sleeve. The choice was a stone. In the throat. Options, she said. Eco laid them out, plain and simple. Option A. Wait 5 minutes. Remove the virus. Miss the safe window. The enemy tightens the ring. Risk. We get no lane today. Cost. Panic grows. Ships drift. Medicine. Spoils. Hope breaks. Option B. Fire a soft touch in 1:30 on an islanded bus. Prove the map. Slow the hardliners. Risk. Small that the virus leaks into a sensing line anyway. If it does, some city breakers will trip. Lights out for a block. No burns. But the enemy will cry, attack. Option C. Push a full strike now with the virus alive. Result: the virus mirrors into the grid. It looks like we struck our own. People suffer. We fail our promise. I do not recommend see Arya's hand closed on the radio. She could hear faint voices on a public band freighter pilot stuck in high orbit, crying and praying. She could hear hospital chiefs calling for routes. She could hear ring crews whispering to each other. If Earth does not burn us, we stand down. Sira spoke again, softer. If you can show mercy and proof, you will split the blockade today. Arya met Malik's eyes. He did not plead. He simply waited, hands steady on the small, bright board. Do we trust the island? She asked. Yes, Malik said, for a soft touch. Do we catch the virus after? She asked. Yes. He said, 5 minutes, I promise. Arya lifted her chin. Echo, lock the maintenance lift. Keep the saboteurs breathing, but quiet. Locked, Echo said. Malik, Arya said. Prepare ZEUS on islanded analog. We will mark the lane, not burn it. Copy, Malik said. He kept one hand on the monitor board, the other reaching for a manual island switch. He flipped it up. All the hub's friendly lights went dark except a small set he had wired by hand. ECHO's voice lowered. Window opens in 1 minute. Ring crews are watching. Some have lifted their hands from their guns. Arya spoke to the hall, to the city, to the planet. Earth will not bow. We will not butcher. We will open the sky with care. Malik's thumb found the tuning wheel. He felt the storm like a hum in his bones. 30 seconds, Echo said. Island bus warmed under Malik's palm. The towers on mountain and desert woke with a soft blue line like breath. 15, Echo said. Arya closed her eyes and saw stars behind the dark ring, like seeds under ice. She opened them. 10. Sirah's. Whisper. Purple stumbles now. 5, Echo said. Malik looked up at Arya. 3. Ready, he said. 2. Arya nodded once. Mark. She said. Malek turned the wheel. Blue threads climbed the sky, and in the hub rack, the virus board blinked a tiny green light and sent a single, quiet packet toward a line Malik had forgotten even existed. 5 minutes to clean it, 30 seconds to hold the lane. Lightning without killing blue lines climbed the night like veins of quiet fire. They did not roar. They did not burn. They simply drew a path through the dark. Soft strike holding, Echo said. Its voice was low and steady. Jammers drop by 9% in the lane. Outer satellites are stunned, not dead. On rooftops across Earth, people looked up and gasped. The sky was still heavy, but a thin corridor shone like a river under ice. Arya stood in the control hall, hands on the table, eyes on the boards. Keep it soft, she said. No grids. No spills. Island confirmed, Echo replied. ZEUS is singing alone. Down in the hub room, Malik kept his left hand on the islanded tuning wheel and his right hand on the bad monitor board. The board blinked a small green light, patient and sly. I'm starting the cold swap, he said. Do not bump me. He turned a screw a quarter turn, stopped, breathed, turned again. Each small move bled the virus off the bus without waking its trap. A wire hummed under his fingers like a thin string on an old guitar. Window has 22 seconds left, Echo said. Lane is open enough for a test. Arya nodded at a coastal controller. Send 2 med freighters through at half thrust. 1 kilometer apart. No hero moves. On a far runway, 2 small ships lifted like careful birds. They slid into the blue lines and disappeared into the ring's shadow dot in the med tent. Sira sat up, blanket around her shoulders, eyes bright. Patch me to the ring cruise, she said. Echo opened a low, simple channel. No net, no flash. Just voice.sira spoke in calm basic. To cruise on segments 4 through 7. I am Envoy Sira of the Free Mediation Service. Earth has opened a lane without killing. If you stand down your weapons, this proof will grow. If you fire on evacuees, the sky will remember. Static, then a quiet reply, rough with fear. We see the blue. We were told Earth would blast us. We were told the humans only know fire. They are choosing care, Sira said. Choose. It with them. In the hall, a cheer burst from the back row. ECHO posted the reason a heartbeat later. First med freighter out of the ring, it said. Telemetry clean. Crew safe. Arya let herself smile for half a second. Good. Keep pace. Second freighter? Inside the corridor now, Echo said. 10 seconds to clear. Malik turned another screw on the virus board. The green light flickered as if angry, then steadied. He did not look up. 2 minutes, he said. I need 2 more minutes to pull this thing clean. Arya's radio clicked. A low voice from the ring crews again. Segment 6 standing down. We will not fire. ECHO confirmed with hard numbers. Weapon capacitors on 6 are cooling. It said, Segment 4 is arguing with its commander. 5 is split. Sira pressed the blanket tighter around her shoulders. Rain tapped on the tent roof. If you keep it soft, she told Arya, more will lift their hands. Understood. Arya said the second med freighter slid free of the ring. Its pilot cried over the line, and then laughed, a shaky, unbelieving sound. The hall's joy broke like light through clouds. It felt like a first breath after a long dive. Echo cut the joy in half with a new tone. Warning, it said. Hardliner. Fleet is moving. A fast unit is making for the corridor. It planned to slam it shut. Arya straightened. How long? 5 minutes to make a mess, Echo said. 2 to do damage if they hit with a super jam coil. Sira's eyes went hard. That coil will not kill by itself, she said, but it will choke the lane. Refugee ships will drift into each. Other. Arya's hand went to the table edge. How wide can we hold the corridor without waking the virus? Malik answered without pausing his careful work. Another 6%, maybe 8. No more until I pull the board. ECHO posted. A small map. In low orbit, a scatter of refugee ships had started to move toward the blue path tugs. Food barges, a few old liners with families packed into the aisles. They did not rush. They crept. Arya spoke into the public band, plain and simple. 2. All civilian ships. Hold spacing. Follow the corridor lights. Do not crowd. We will keep the door open. The reply came in pieces and tears. Copy. Thank you. Please don't let it close. Saboteurs? Arya asked. Echo showed the maintenance lift. Frozen. 2 trapped. The 3rd is cuffed. We are clear. Then we hold, Arya said. Malik. Finish the pull. Echo, keep the soft strike steady. A new message burned on a side screen. Private. Ring cruise. Segment 5. We will stand down if you promise again. No burn. Arya did not hesitate. We promise. We will not burn. Segment 5 cooling, Echo said. Capacitors falling. Malik turned the last screw on the monitor board. The green light went out. He didn't breathe for a count of 3. Then he lifted the board from its slot like a tooth from a jaw and set it in a box of sand. Virus off the bus, he said. Relief ran through his voice like water. Give me 30 more seconds to clean the jumpers. Then we can rejoin the grid. And still keep ZEUS pure. ECHO's tone sharpened. Hardliner fleet is here.